Man, oh man, we can't get enough of chaos. Remember in the middle of the summer, Isaiah Rodgers decided that, well, he was going to get suspended, probably lose his career, Colts cornerback, because he's going to bet on football games, including his own team. In the locker room, in the facility, in the building, Isaiah Rodgers, he gone. That was one of the stories, but now comes a much bigger story. Star running back Jonathan Taylor is demanding a trade. Look, hey, OutKick, I'm demanding $100 million. Neither are going to happen. You're not trading Jonathan Taylor. First off, no one's going to pay him what he wants with his over market value. We'll get into all of that. Second, the Colts have him for another few years this year, and then they can franchise him for 2 more. Now, you got to understand, Jonathan Taylor is shocking to us because Jonathan Taylor has always been the guy that shows up at practice, has always been the guy that kind of just keeps his mouth shut, and when he says stuff, it's pretty smart stuff. Seems like he was above all this crap, but he's got a Wiz Khalifa, Suge Knight kind of looking agent, and apparently all things have gone to hell. But let me tell you what's really going on here. When you look at the Colts, and no one's going to understand this, for years and years and years, I have told you that Chris Ballard and this organization is a fraud, a complete fraud. It is built on a house of sand. It is built with PR. It is built with appeasement more than accountability. It has been built flawed because, well, frankly, it's built as a team inside out. Massive contracts have gone to big, fat linemen, no regard for wide receivers, no regard for weapons, and this is the real problem, and you will not hear this anywhere else. Players don't want to play there. I'm going to tell you exactly why players don't want to play there. You can tell the general manager is full of crap. He's like a Baptist preacher. He's this guy, he sits there, he wears his little hat. He never played in college. He acts like he played in college, so he has no cachet with him. If he never said anything about playing in college, no one would care. But when you act like you played at Wisconsin and you never played it down at Wisconsin, you got no cachet. And when the guy that you always talk about is Jeff Van Gundy, who never won nothing, you got no cachet with really good players. Andrew Luck, out, gone. You can say it's injuries. It just shows you don't know. You can say it's no offensive line. It just shows you don't know. The dude played 16 games and a Pro Bowl his last year and out. He did not want to play for this regime. He did not want to play for Frank Reich. He did not want to play for Chris Ballard. I heard his dad on the phone talking about it in Europe. I was right there. Out. Phillip Rivers, 1 year, $25 million. They asked him for another year. No, I don't want to be a part of this. No. Now, I know people will make excuses. I know they will say, well, he wanted to be with his family. Really? Oh, okay. Sure he did. How about Stephon Gilmore? Let's fast forward. Stephon Gilmore last year was going to be the savior. Oh, my God, the leadership. Oh, my God, we got a defensive player of the year here. He wanted out. Demanded to be traded. The Colts got a 5th-round pick for him. That's what they got. That's all they got. Now this guy here, their star running back, out. He wants gone. I've told you this forever. I'm spitting. I'm screaming. I just hocked a big loogie. It's gross. Don't look at me. I hope we go slow. If they all want out, and it isn't Jimmy Irsay's fault. Jimmy Irsay will pay, but Jimmy Irsay is starting to take over his team. If I die tonight and Jonathan Taylor's out of the league, no one's going to miss us. The league goes on. It doesn't matter who comes and who goes. That's exactly right. Jimmy Irsay knows there's a fundamental problem with his team. He knows there's a fundamental problem with his general manager, but he did not fire him. Why? He didn't want to go through the hassle of it. Just didn't want to do it. Got rid of the coach at midseason. His call for Jeff Saturday, but he has neutered his general manager. Let me ask you, Colts fans, over the last 72 hours, have you heard anything from Chris Ballard? Hell no. Why? Because Jimmy Irsay knows what I have been telling you. I've been told by people close to Irsay that he absolutely knows this is a fraudulent organization. Now he knows it. Now he understands it. So he keeps Ballard for whatever the reason. Didn't want to go through the hassle, but he takes over the reins. His daughters are helping here. His daughters are wearing headsets on the sideline. His daughters are taking notes in coaches' candidate meetings. You don't understand this. I'm trying to help you. But all the while, All the while, we're being told this guy Ballard is great, and all the while, I've been telling you this is a house of sand. People don't want to play here. Ngakoue, he was going to change the deal. Mike Lombardi comes on our show and says, watch, it's the reason he's been on 5 teams in 6 years. He runs by the quarterback. He's a fraud. The media told us Yannick Ngakoue, this guy's great. Look, he's trying to do things for teachers, blah, 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 blah. No. The cause is Chris Ballard's culture. The culture of appeasement. No accountability. It works for bottom feeders. It works for guys that aren't great players, but great players want to be coached. I told you forever. And this came from Ryan Grigson. The one thing about Andrew Luck is he wanted to be coached. He said it on my shows. He didn't want to be coddled. He didn't like Pagano's coddling. He liked Grigson's tough love. He didn't like this regime's crap. I heard his dad say it. So now you've got another player who's like, look, you're not going to pay me. I want out. But it doesn't start there. It starts the fact that he knows the Colts can't win. He knows that this is an organization who allowed the right guard, left guard, to MF, mother blank, the general manager on the practice field. And understood that the general manager thought it was great. I love when players do that. This is the softest, most ridiculous organization. And great players know it. Great players understand it, and great players don't want to be a part of it. Sure, this is about money. Of course this is about money. But you can't swing a dead cat in the NFL and get paid as a running back. So his agent knows, he knows, this isn't about going somewhere else and getting more money. This is about, I want out of here because this organization is going nowhere. So then the local idiots in Indy who are so stupid, so bad. Stephen Holder is so bad, the writer for ESPN, the guy you see representing all of us. He's so freaking dumb. Hasn't broke a story. He and Mike Chappell, God bless Mike Chappell, they put out that Jonathan Taylor had back pain. Here's Jonathan Taylor. Never had a back pain. Never reported back pain. Not sure who your sources are. They're just so bad. These are the same people that told you that Chris Ballard is a great general manager. National media, still a great general manager. You told us that too. So that's the deal. This isn't about money. Jonathan Taylor knows he's not getting paid anywhere else. He knows he's not getting traded anywhere else. He has to do what he has to do. He has to stand up for himself because, frankly, the Colts are being kind of tough with him, and no player likes it anymore. Owners are taking their teams back. Owners are saying, look, we've had enough of you. We're tired of you. Now, quarterback, different deal. Quarterback, way different deal. Quarterback, you do whatever you want. But the rest of these guys, owners are saying, screw you, Jonathan Taylor. This is what the market is. You signed a deal. We ain't budging. Same thing going on with the Cowboys. Zach Martin lives over here somewhere. Zach Martin, the greatest offensive guard in the league. All right. Zach Martin's sitting out. You know what? Jerry Jones don't care. He's been at the top of the money the whole time. If you make that adjustment, then you don't have the money to pay the guys on their first contract. It has nothing to do with him. It's not about precedent. It's about facts. We need the money to pay Parsons. We need the money to pay the players. We got to pay in the future. That's a fact. He also said if you sit out, Zach, there's going to be consequences. See, I told you this before. Owners in the NFL are just different. They're not these corporations or individuals. And at some point, individuals, particularly ones that pay attention, like Jerry Jones, who played a little bit back in the day, or Jimmy Irsay, who was a GM who aspired to be a player. These guys are starting to take their teams back. These guys are starting to say, wait a second, we've got the greatest franchises in the world outside of Premier League soccer. These things are worth so much. Why are we acquiescing to some guys that we don't have to acquiesce to? We're being fair with Zach Martin. He's been paid more than anybody else. We're being fair with Jonathan Taylor. This is what the market demands. But you're never going to hear this from people. You're going to hear that Irsay's an idiot, or like the Indy Star columnist, oh, well, it's the agent. That's not the agent. It's not the agent. There's no chance in hell Jonathan Taylor is that stupid to listen to a guy who thinks he's a wannabe Wiz Khalifa, or listen to a guy that thinks he's Suge Knight's, I don't know, whatever you call it, NFT. No. And good for the owners. I told you this long time ago. There will be a time, because I got this from NFL people. I don't get this stuff from other media people. I get this stuff from people inside the NFL, which is why I've never been wrong on this Colts stuff, which is why when everybody in the world was telling you Chris Ballard's the greatest GM ever, I told you it was a house of cards built on crap, built on falsehoods, built on PR. And I also told you that NFL teams are going to start taking their teams back. Not a quarterback. Quarterback's a whole different deal. But when you start, I'm holding out. I'm going to show you. All right, look what happened with Saquon Barkley. I'm holding out. I'm going to show you. Yeah, I guarantee you the next day the Giants say, hey, man, good luck to you. Whoa. That's still $10 million in my pocket. Look what's happening with Jonathan Taylor. Jimmy Irsay usually doesn't say those things, usually very player-friendly. Says, hey, look, man, if I'm gone and you're gone, the NFL's still going to roll on. And it's going to roll on, if you're alive, without $10 million. And you're going to have $10 million less. And I got to tell you, owners taking their team back is good for you, and it's good for me. We don't see these whiny little princes. We don't see these guys. We see real teams winning. Hey, that's a real football player. That's a tough football player. Remember when his mommy was in the, oh, my God, football is great. You don't get concussion stuff? Yeah, okay. Sorry, I drift off sometimes into personal things. I thought his mother's deal was so stupid. In fact, I ripped it and she took herself off it. It was so stupid when she was doing ads to play football. It was so idiotic. But hey, look, it is a mother. Who cares? Whatever. What are you going to do? But anyway, so Jerry Jones says, hey, man, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I'm telling you, I want $1 million. I want $100 million. I already got $1 million. I want $100 million. Jonathan Taylor wants traded. We're going to get the same result. Yeah, good. I want a 10-inch peep. Never mind. Hey, don't go there, Dan. Sometimes you go places. Come on, Double D. Don't go to those places. You already got that, by the way. Anyway, I digress.